To me, payroll represents the backbone of the world's economy. It's the engine that keeps everything running because essentially pay is the main reason people go to work. So for me as a payroll professional, it's really rewarding to be in an industry that touches every single individual, irrespective of which country they work in and where they are. And I think for me, the pride comes from the fact that especially over the last 2 years where legislation has changed really quickly, everything moved on really, really fast. We had to adapt as payroll professionals fairly quickly to the constant changes. Payroll has proved as an industry to be quite resilient, to be quite adaptable, and has supported people across the world, and mainly for us here in the UK, has supported people to still maintain their livelihoods. And I think we've done a fantastic job, and I'm really proud to be part of this industry. The most exciting part of my role, actually my current role, is that I've managed to raise my profile to actually sit a seat at the senior management table and have a voice and be able to influence strategic decisions within the business. So that was my aim earlier in my career, to raise my profile within the industry and to actually, for my expertise and my knowledge to be appreciated. And I'm quite excited to have, actually through hard work and determination, to have got there. It's quite a few years back. I was working in finance. I started off as a finance professional, as many payrollers have started off in finance. And the managing director of the company that I was working for at the time was unhappy with the payroll service from their provider, and asked me if, is payroll something that I could potentially incorporate into my finance function. And I always loved a good challenge, and I said, why not? So I really, really enjoyed that project, bringing everything in-house, scoping for a system, implementing it, delivering it in quite a short time frame. And I thought to myself, this is what makes me tick. This is what gives me the buzz. So I'm going to stick in this industry, and I haven't regretted it for a second since. I think I've made quite a few good ones in payroll, but the best decision I made in payroll was to pursue professional qualifications. So I've started with a payroll technician certificate, I've completed the foundation degree in payroll management, and I have also completed the MSc in business and reward management. And I cannot express how happy and how fulfilling this has been for me. And I remember earlier, especially when I started the MSc, my tutors were saying I couldn't be doing the role that I'm doing today without this qualification. And I said to myself, what can be so great about this qualification that's enabling people, to do such senior positions? After finishing it, I realized that actually, yes, I couldn't do the role that I'm doing today, and I couldn't have raised my profile to that high level and sit at that senior management table without actually completing the qualification. So I would definitely recommend, in addition to experience, I think professional qualifications is probably the best decision I made. In my opinion, hand on heart, for me, payroll is not a career, it's a vocation. And I don't feel that payroll is an industry for me. Payroll for me is a community, which is made up of some fantastic individuals that I've met along the way. I've learned a great deal from so many people. And I think if you're willing to work hard and smart, if you're willing to roll your sleeves up, and if you're open-minded, I think the financial rewards are quite great in this industry too. And I think who wouldn't love to be paid for doing what they love, right? I think probably the first word for me is dynamic. There's never a dull moment, and I have such a large network of professionals, not only from payroll, and definitely from my opinion and my understanding is that payroll is probably one of the most dynamic industries where everything changes all the time. And essentially you're working with people. So I think that's the dynamic side of it. You're always working with different people all the time, and legislation changes all the time. So for me, that's definitely the first thing that comes in my mind when I think about payroll is dynamic. Also, I think is resilience. I think we've been incredibly resilient and adaptable, especially over the last couple of years where we've literally been thrust into the limelight and really had to prove our capabilities. And I think as an industry, we've done fantastically well. And I think, finally, it's creativity. I think we're very creative as an industry. You know, we will always find a solution that will satisfy our employees and the businesses. So I certainly have met a lot of creative people within the industry. And I know some people would say, well, actually, it's not a very creative industry, but I would argue that actually it is. Oh my God, I've thought about this long and hard. And for me, I think it's I'm Still Standing by Elton John. So it's, again, going back to that resilience, we've really proved how resilient we are. And I think whatever happens, whatever is thrown at the industry and the payroll professional, I think we will always adapt and we will always be standing at the end of any challenge.